I am Rauha and I come from the beautiful land of Namibia. Growing up in Namibia, I have been shaped by the stunning landscapes and warm people. For far too long, I've lived in my comfort zone. However, my sense of curiosity has inspired me to embark on a new chapter. Join me as I explore Europe in 3 months.
Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you are very welcome. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys different ways that you can actually use to travel around Europe. So we are talking about transport today, which I believe is very important when you're traveling. And I believe that a lot of people actually have the question of how am I going to get around when I'm in Europe? The simple answer is there are so many ways that you can get around whilst in Europe. So let's start with the first one. Guys, you can actually download FlixBus, which is a bus application that you can use in Europe to travel from one country to another country. Now, I have actually read a lot of reviews on FlixBus and a lot of these reviews were very negative. But I also know that every time I've had a great service from a place, I never really remember to put a positive review. But when I have a negative experience, this is when I'm more encouraged to go and write something. I hate this company, or this company did not live up to my standards. So always keep in mind, guys, that negative reviews are usually written by people that are really unsatisfied and angry. But a lot of satisfied customers don't leave a review. So FlixBus is one you can use. So this bus application allows you to book a bus from one country to travel to another country. Now, I have to be very honest, I have not faced a single issue using FlixBus. If anything, my drivers were actually really nice to me. They were so kind, and they would often help me, like to even carry my bag and put it on the bus, and they would smile, they would greet me, and they'd ask me something. And the good thing is, like, a lot of these buses actually have toilets on board, so you don't have to worry about, going to pee or etc. You can actually use the toilet that is on the bus, which I think is really nice, because we do, depending of course on the distance, the buses actually do stop for a break time. But I've never left the bus because obviously I'm just so paranoid and I'm scared that what if the bus leaves me and I don't need that kind of drama. Now I have to go look for my backpack, starting from where I don't know. So I usually just stay on the bus and I don't leave the bus. So if you needed to use the loo to pee, for example, it is on the FlixBus, which is, I think, really nice. So downloading FlixBus is really simple. You just basically go to your app store and you download FlixBus. Get right into putting your destination to where you're going. You'll see the cost, and the costs are usually very reasonable, so you don't actually have to worry about it. And I have to say that FlixBus has saved my pockets because it is so reasonable, you guys. And then the second one is the train. Now, there are different ways, or at least 2 ways that I know that you can use the train. Number one is just booking train tickets in general. You can book them in advance, or you can book them today and you're traveling tomorrow. However, if you do book your train tickets in advance, you will basically have a better chance to save money and get cheaper tickets. Okay, the second way is actually by either purchasing a Eurail pass or an Interrail pass. Now, Eurail is for European citizens and Interrail pass is for international citizens such as myself from Africa, Asia, etc. Now, what this pass actually does is it allows you to travel across the European countries with that single pass. And basically, again, you just download Interrail or you download Eurail and you go to the website, read a little bit and just familiarize yourself on how the pass actually works, because the pass, depending on how many days you purchased it for, usually it's that, for example, if you're going to use the pass for 1 day, or let's say you bought for 5 days, so 1 day is equal to 24 hours. And basically, if you arrive in that place, you can use that 1 day pass on all their trains for free. So if you're going to be going around that day upon arriving to your destination, then you've basically got free train tickets that you can just use to move around. So that's the benefit of having an Interrail pass or a Eurail pass. And it helps that you actually buy it in advance. If you're going to buy it just when you're starting your trip, there's really no point. I just feel like you're going to be spending way too much money on a pass. So yeah, Right, so do check into the Euro and Interrail pass. Okay, so we've spoken about FlixBus and we've spoken about the train ticket and the train pass. Okay, so number three is going to be BlaBlaCar. BlaBlaCar is an app you can basically download. On BlaBlaCar, you can find buses and you can also find carpooling. Like I mentioned before, carpooling is basically just you being able to book a seat in someone's car. So, for example, I'm traveling from Germany to Austria. I can go on BlaBlaCar and find a car that is going to Austria. Then I book a seat on that car. Now, the good thing is about BlaBlaCar and carpooling is that you usually get really great prices, you guys. You get great prices. Like, I actually paid 28 euro to come from Germany to Austria, and that was, I think, 7 or 6 hours drive. I feel like that was really reasonable, and the fact that you're in a car and you're comfortable. If I had paid for a flight, it would have been way more because I also had my backpack, and then you need to go to the airport and you need to you need to pay for the flight, and considering that it's a late booked flight, it's going to be more expensive. Right, speaking of flights, let's get to point number four. You can use a flight, you guys. Now, flights are really good, especially if you book in advance. Booking flights in advance in Europe, it is amazing because you can get amazing deals. You can get tickets for as cheap as 5 euro, 10 euro, 12 euro. Okay, maybe not 5, but like 12 euro, 20 euro, 15 euro, 18 euro. That's how much tickets can be cheap in Europe. But that's if you book in advance. Unless you're lucky and you just go on Skyscanner and you actually put your current destination. Let's say you want to go to Poland, or let's say no. Say you are in Germany and then you want to go, you select anywhere. There's an option on Skyscanner to put anywhere. Now, once you put anywhere, you will be shown like the discounted flights that are currently available. So in that case, if you're flexible, you can actually find a cheap ticket, because when you select fly to anywhere, they'll give you some cheap tickets that are currently available. Like, I remember when I was in Norway and I booked a ticket to Poland, I actually got a ticket for 17 euro. I just didn't take the flight, right? So other than that, try to book your flight tickets in advance if you want cheap tickets. And if you don't want to do that, then you might want to use Skyscanner and just put anywhere. Then you'll get some cheap flights listed on the app. Okay, so let me see. Did I leave out one other transport? Of course, when you're traveling, right? And let's say you've arrived in your preferred destination, it really helps to use your God-given legs. Walk, you guys. Walk, and walk. Walk as much as you can, you guys. Don't use Ubers and stuff. You are a traveler. Walking helps you see like a lot of things. So try to walk if you can. And also use public transportation. There are always buses and trains. A lot of countries actually have train apps that you can use to buy tickets or passes, or you can buy a train ticket in the train station, and then you can use the train to move around when you're in that particular country. And like I said, always find out if you actually have to validate your ticket, because in some countries you need to validate your ticket, otherwise your ticket is void, or can I say it's invalid, which in that case, if a controller actually finds you with a train ticket that is not validated, you are going to pay a fine. So always make sure when you are moving about in a country, you know whether your ticket is supposed to be validated or not. Okay, so use public transport, you guys, when you arrive in a country, and also use your legs and learn how to use Google Maps. Google Maps is extremely important when you are traveling because it will help you and it will save you so much. These days, Google Maps is so advanced to the point that it actually has a live view. So if you open your Google Maps app, you'll be able to open your camera and it will show you with arrows where you're supposed to be going. Alternatively, Google Maps has also improved to the point where it can actually give you your train route. It can give you your bus route. So if you're on the train or if you want to take a train, you put where you are and where you want to go. And then Google Maps will give you the full direction on how you should travel with the train to get to your spot. It will give you each stop. It will even direct you to the point where you are supposed to catch the train. So if you don't know how to use Google Maps, I suggest you learn, and I suggest you familiarize yourself with Google Maps because it is such an important application during your travel. Another thing that I will actually advise you guys to download will be Google Lens. Google Lens allows you to translate words, menus, etc. by just opening the camera and pointing it, and then you'll get the translation right on your phone. So Google Lens is extremely helpful and has helped me a lot. Another app I have actually used is Omio. Omio, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, to book buses. Omio for me was just as helpful as Flixbus, so I usually use Flixbus, the app, or I use Omio, and Omio was also just as helpful. So if you guys want another bus application, you can use Omio. So guys, you don't always have to use flights. Flights can be expensive sometimes. You can use the train, you can use the bus. I use the bus a lot because I just felt like, one, I could save on accommodation. For example, if I was traveling overnight, I would take the overnight bus, because sometimes the overnight buses are cheaper anyway. So I could take the overnight bus, which meant that I didn't have to pay one night of accommodation, because I could obviously sleep on the bus. So that's one way that I could actually save costs. And also, traveling by bus during the day is really nice when you don't have such a long trip, because you get to see like the horizon and other parts of the country that you would otherwise not see if you're on a plane. You know what I mean? So yeah, guys, that's all from me about transport in Europe. So don't be too worried. Transport in Europe is actually affordable. I mean, especially when it comes to flights, it's more affordable than Africa can ever be. Flights in Africa are super expensive, and I think that's why I'm kind of like a little bit scared of traveling in Africa. But I know like at some point I have to, but I'm just scared. So it's either I'm probably, I don't know, because petrol is also expensive. I don't know if I'm gonna drive through or book flights in advance. I really don't know how I'm going to tackle that. But if you guys are like worried about moving from one country to another country in Europe, that should not be such a major concern, because you have so many alternatives, and not just alternatives, but it's also very cost effective. So yeah, guys, book in advance and use the tips that I gave you in this video. And that will be all for today. So if you guys learned something, or if you at least like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys when I'm back with a new informative video. Ciao.